many of Europe's single currency nations facing central bank decisions this week, we invited Birgit Niessner, co-head of CEE macro and fixed income research at Erste Group, to provide us with her expert forecasts. Birgit talks to me today from Vienna, Austria. Birgit, thank you very much for joining me today. The euro Czech crown slid 0.15% ahead of the Czech National Bank's announcement today. The CNB decided to keep its benchmark interest rate unchanged at 0.75%, a record low for the 15th time in a row. How does this impact your short, mid and long-term predictions for this pair?
Our forecasts indeed had to be revised because the Czech crown strengthened more than we expected. We always had full confidence in the Czech crown because it's a country which has put its house in order, but actually the international LTRO-driven mood did more impact to the currency than we anticipated. So that's why we revised our forecast. We see some weakening in the months coming along. We see the Czech crown at 25 in 1 month because we think that the market overreacted a little bit, but then the currency will go back and strengthen again to 24.4 in a 3-month horizon. We think that the very weakening in the very short term is due to a fading of good news in the world economy, and as I've said before, the Czech crown reacts very much to international market sentiment. Over a 1-year horizon, we see the Czech crown strengthening to 23.9 because it's a convergence-driven strengthening. The Czech economy is structurally very sound and will outpace the Eurozone countries in terms of growth. This means that in this process of conversion, also the currency will strengthen.
The Euro-Romanian leu was holding steady ahead of the announcement today that the Romanian central bank's interest rates will face further cuts. Talk me through your expectations for the euro, Ron.
The Romanian leu is also a currency of a country which has put its house in order, but the Romanians have opted for a very different currency regime. It's a tightly managed currency, and that's why you see the RON only moving in a very tight range. Actually, since the beginning of the year, the RON has depreciated a little bit, and the central bank intervened when the RON hit the 20-month low of 4.39. Now, we think that they will do this again if the currency approaches a level of 4.4, but we think that the currency will move within the next month to 4.37 and will then move on in the next over a time horizon of 3 months to 4.35 and will remain there the whole next year. We think that the stability of the currency can be explained, that no further interest rate cuts can be explained and can be expected, and the fiscal policy of the country can be considered very sound. There is one downside risk I would like to mention. These are the elections in autumn, but we do not think that they will kick the RON off track.
The Hungarian economy has experienced continued uncertainty regarding the government's bid to secure financing from international lenders. With this in mind, what are your anticipated movements for the euro HUF?
Yes, indeed. The Hungarian government has upheld investors with very erratic policy making, and there is still a high level of uncertainty which will not disappear until they have agreed with the IMF on further lending. So it's a good example of what happens to a currency if you have not put your house in order. We see the forint staying close to its current level. We have a forecast over a 1-month horizon for 295 vis-a-vis the euro, and we see it after 3 months at 292.5 vis-a-vis the euro. We think that as soon as the IMF agreement, which we expect around mid-year to be reached, then this will remove the uncertainty and the forint will resume its strengthening again. There are 2 supportive factors. The one is that the country shows a current account surplus, and the other one is that the key policy interest rate is at 7%, which means that it has a very high interest rate differential towards the Eurozone. So as soon as the IMF agreement is in place, we see room for strengthening, and we see the forint at 281 after 1 year.
Birgit Niessner there on behalf of Erste Group. I'll be back with the all-important week ahead interview, but in the meantime, do check out the Dukascopy TV website for more insider information. For now though, goodbye.